Hey guys, this video is going to be about coming out to employers as well as coworkers.
Okay guys, so I got some statistics that I'm going to read to you. I'll start that. Studies show a 35% unemployment rate and a 60% earning less than $15,300, as well as high rates of workplace termination and denial of employment, and as well as harassment. The unemployment rate for transgender versus
U.S. population
is 8 times higher. And the general population for unemployment rate is 4.5% and 13% is a poverty rate. And pretty much this means the poverty rate for trans people in general is 3 times higher versus other people.
It doesn't sound like a lot, but there are a lot of us, and it's still extremely high.
That's nationally.
Yeah.
Or worldwide, I should say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, so talking about the statistics really makes you think, because in different states in general, it's okay for this. It's legal to pretty much not hire a person because of their gender identity.
What they're born with.
Or just in general because of how the way a person looks.
Yeah.
Now that's a whole different statistics that, you know, it varies like every year, because laws are constantly changing. However, now what we may tell you may vary from what your experience may be, because down the south I find that it's a much more harder to find acceptance in workplaces versus the more up north you go. Now, every place is different. Now, speaking from experience, the way I came out to my coworker was, one, you always have to look at the application. Now, sometimes it says male, female, do not disclose. Now, if you have that option, do not disclose. However, now if you just have the option male or female, guess what?
Whatever your identity is at that point in time, you need to put what you are
at that
to the
point
law.
in time.
Because they don't care about how you feel about yourself.
Now, if your name is Britney Spears and you identify yourself as male, they're gonna look for a man named Britney Spears.
Exactly.
That number, that your social security number, is given to you the very day you were born, the very day that they saw that, oh, that's a, yeah. Anyway, that's the day that you get that number and it's assigned to you for the rest of your life. Now, the day that you can change it, totally different. Put man from now on. The thing is, though, as unfortunate as you have to put female, because if they look up your social security number, they're going to see that a man named Britney Spears doesn't even exist. So, anyway, getting back to, you know, topic now, when you go to your employer, say you get that in an interview, you know what I mean, 9 times out of 10, the person is going to be accepting. Yeah. Most of the time.
Right off the bat, too.
Now, most of the time, when you go in there, you got to be confident. You can't go in there not look the person in the eyes, okay? First things first.
You got to go in there knowing what you're going to say is going to be understanding, like, you know, to the point where the other person completely understands what you're saying. You can't go in there not knowing what you're going to say at all and just talking gibberish, because that's what it'll turn into if you don't plan out what you're going to talk about.
Pretty much.
And, yeah.
Pretty much what's going to happen if they ask you for forms of ID, you're going to go in there, and 9 times out of 10, the information is not going to match what you wrote on the application. Say if you did write male. Now, like I said, out of respect, you need to not assume that the person is going to be okay with you putting male to begin with. So what you need to do is you need to fill out your real information. You go in there, you show them your signs of ID, and then they'll see. You know what I mean? They'll obviously see you as a person. What you need to do is you say, listen, yes, my real name is so-and-so. And yes, I am a so-and-so, whatever. But I do label myself as a man. I am going through a process in which to change that, in which is going to be legally changed eventually. Now, with time, I expect that, for respect, I want to be acknowledged as this. And I'm sure they will understand, because you honestly looked them in the eye and you told them. That is brave. And 9 times out of 10, that's confidentiality. Mm-hmm. Your employer cannot tell your coworkers. Now, if you want to tell your coworkers, that's up to you. You don't need to tell your coworkers. Your coworkers are just people that you acknowledge there.
Yeah, and don't be scared that you're going to tell the person who hires you and they're going to go off and tell everybody and, like, listen, we have one of these around, and it's all confidentiality and all that.
Now, if they do tell, that is breaking the law because they cannot tell your personal information to anybody unless it is another boss in the store or, I mean, in your workplace, I should say. Now, what do you say when you get hired? What do you say to that person when you're scared? You don't know what to say. You don't know what to expect. You're scared of what's going to come.
Whenever I have an interview, I always start like right off the bat. I'll shake their hand, be like, "Hello, how are you doing?" And then right from there, I just listen. I'm just like, listen, like, with all your respect, this is, stop shaking the camera. With all your respect, this is, just tell them, just be open about it. Like they've dealt with, situations similar to this, and so they're not gonna be too like, this is weird. Like,
so pretty much when you go in there, shake their hand. They're gonna ask for your signs of ID.
Yes.
Then you explain to them. You explain to them. You show them, and they have questions. Answer them, but most likely they won't, because if they are respectful, they'll say, "Listen, it's your business. You came here to do a job in which I'm paying you to do. If your personal life does not hinder with any work tasks involved, then it's fine. Whatever.
I'm over with."
But if you're in transition, you have to understand this is what you got to do. As much as you don't want to do it, this is a part of your lifestyle, and it's what needs to be done.
Exactly.
So,
my word of advice too is, if you do have a binder, we suggest wearing it. If you want to, be outed as male, what about, what if say you're preteen, and I've had this before. What if a coworker asks if you're a male or female? What do you do?
now, okay.
Like if a coworker straight up asks you, "Are you male or female?" I've had it happen to me before, and I was too nervous, so I just pretty much told them.
People from all stages of transition, when going into employment, what you should do is, okay, obviously your boss knows to acknowledge you as that. However, if you're not passing, you need to let it be known, because then you kind of have to out yourself.
Yeah.
Now, it's kind of hard in situations like that, especially you still have a light voice and you're very baby-faced and fair-skinned, whatnot. You're going to pass for a very much young individual. Now, if you pass right off the bat, no problem. Fucking rock on.
Yeah.
However, that's going to be very rare. So what you need to do is you need to tell them what the fuck you want. If you want to be called a man, if you want to be called Bruce, then you fucking tell them you want to be called Bruce.
And the biggest thing, which you will persuade somebody into respecting you, is just bringing up the respect factor. And it's kind of like, if you want respect, you'll give me respect, and that's how it is.
And if people talk, fuck them.
Yeah.
Because you know what? All you got to do
You're
is
there
talk.
to get money, for tea, for whatever. Like, you're there to work for yourself, and
You're there for you, no one else.
Hey,
You don't need no one else's approval but your own.
yeah. So,
Yeah. So, okay.